तो एग्जाम चल रहा है बोला ना आपने? All right. Anything which you didn't understand? You okay? It's a humorous thing how we make a mistake, like when you're packing things, how much chaos it is. So the narrator was a better packer than the boys. George and Harris, they are not boys. They are three men on the boat. The narrator is Jerome. Jerome. And they have a dog called Montmorency. The dog is equally mischievous. You know how a dog is? He would poke his nose in everywhere. When they were packing the sack, they sat on the butter. So it's a totally hilarious thing. So you come to know who is a better packer. It's basically the narrator is a better packer than the other two friends. So we are going to do the duck and the kangaroo. It's a poem, no? Duck and the kangaroo. Poem. Now it's again a funny poem. Okay, it's a funny. The Duck and the Kangaroo is a funny poem written by Edward Lears. Now you know what is a funny poem? That is also known as a limerick. You know what is a limerick? It is a humorous poem which has normally 4 lines. Okay. Now look at this. Limerick is a humorous poem which has 4 lines. This is a poem which he writes. He writes in like it's a funny poem where the duck wants to. He's so bored in the pond that he wants to explore the world. So he asks the kangaroo. Okay, he asks the kangaroo, "Can you take me?" And because you can hop over water bodies and all that. Can you take me and go? Okay. So the kangaroo thinks about it before he responds. So like we have to be very conscious. You should think about yourself also before you commit to others. Okay, so he thinks about it and then he says, I do not like your feet, which is very cold. So this duck has a foresight. He says, okay, you don't like my feet, so then I've already bought 4 pairs of woolen socks. Okay, and he says, I have bought even a cloak to cover myself from the cold, and I am learning to smoke so that I can keep warm. So then he agrees. So that's what you cannot. If you're planning to do something, you have to have that foresight. You have to plan ahead in life before you ask. And the second thing what you learn is he does praise. He does praise the kangaroo because he said you are so swift, you can hop from place to place. But he's not flattering him. You know the difference between praise and flattery? Right? So because this one says, if you take me on my back, he says, I will not trouble you, but I will only say quack. He knows when to state that I will his terms too. So that way the duck is very practical and he plans ahead. Okay? What? Once and when we come, we'll come to it. Okay? So this is Edward Lear. He was a British artist. He was an illustrator. Whenever he wrote poems, whenever he wrote poems, he drew it. So that's why illustrator. He illustrated his own poems most of the time. Okay. He was renowned today primarily for his literary nonsense. Literary nonsense means it will not make sense. Okay. In poetry and prose. Prose is your lessons, chapters. Okay. And he died in 1888. See. In his childhood, he suffered from ill health, and after a long decline in health, he died of heart disease. So now this is he has drawn himself. Edward Lear. Sorry?
In childhood, yes.
No, he didn't die in childhood, but he had a heart disease. He didn't die in childhood. From childhood, he suffered from a heart disease. Okay, it's ill health. Now, like this is a humorous picture because this person is doubting that he is Edward Lear. So he takes out his hat, and in the hat the name is written. Then he says, "See this, I'm Edward Lear only. Why will I wear a hat which was not mine?" Okay. Now see, this is also the capital. The principal areas of work as an artist were threefold: a draughtsman, employed to illustrate birds and animals. So like they used to keep people to draw for books and all that. The draughtsman, and making color drawings during his journey. The letter C for capital. C was lovely pussy cat. Its eyes were large, and on its back it had some stripes, and had several on its tail. So P, the letter P. P was a pig with a tail so curly. Sometimes he was good and sometimes he was slurly. Slurly is very irritated, very angry. So his poems are, these are like lyrics. His poems are very, very funny. An author, as an author, Lear is principally known for his popular nonsense work rather than as a travel writer. Now look at this. This is again this one. There was an old man with an owl who continued to bother and howl. Howl is to shout. He sat on the rail and imbibed bitter ale. Ale is that in the barrel you have this wine. Okay, so that. Which refreshed the old man and the owl. So once they had a drink, they were feeling very fresh. Now this is these show a great ability to relish the sound of the real and invented English word. The poem, The Duck and the Kangaroo, is a poem with a light touch of humor. It is a light humor. The duck and the kangaroo. See, said the duck to the kangaroo, "Good gracious, how you hop." So he said, like the way you hop at when kangaroo hops, it hops at long distances. If you see, so he's praising him here. Over the fields and the water too, as if you would never stop. So he's basically saying the way you hop, you cover long distances. It is over the fields and even water bodies. Over water also you keep on hopping. So he's praising here. Okay. Now he says is my life. He says my life is a bore in this nasty pond. So the duck lives in a pond, right? So he said it is a very boring life. Okay. So he says, and I long to go to the world beyond. He wants to see. He's like, see, the kangaroo is adventurous. It can go various places. It can hop and go various places. While the duck is confined in a small little pond. So he wants to explore the world. So when you're getting bored in life, you have to do something new in order to entertain yourself. Understood? The duck also is like that. He wants to get out of the monotony of life. Right? Why do we have holidays? Why do you get holidays? Have you ever thought about it? From school, this one. Why do you get holidays? Because it's routine life. What happens? You get up in the morning, you have your breakfast, you go to school, then you come back from school, you go for tuition, then you come back from tuition, and then your day ends. You go to eat your dinner, go to sleep. So that is basically a routine life, and routine life has a tendency to make it very monotonous. And you get very bored in that life, right? So the same way the duck got very bored in swimming in the pond, that's why it's calling a nasty pond. Ponds are never nasty. It is again, it has been transferred. Remember, transferred everything I taught you. So it is that like this. So he's saying that it's so boring. My life is so boring in this, and he says I long to go. So I want to get out of this boredom. Okay, I long to go to the world. Go out in the world beyond. I want to explore the world. I want to go ahead and see the world. Okay. I wish I could hop like you. I said I wish I could hop like you because I said I'll be able to go to various places and see various places. Said the duck to the kangaroo. Okay. It wants to go away from there. Please give me a ride on your back, said the duck to the kangaroo. I would sit quite still and say nothing but quack the whole day long. So it is it's already warning or telling him, informing him previously that I will not move, I will sit still because when you're hopping, You require to sit still. If you move or if you don't sit still, what will happen? You will tumble down. So he says, that's why I said it is very practical. It thinks about future. But he says, he's very true to himself. I will not do anything, but I will say quack. So he's informing him before Modi, this is my qualities. This is the thing I will do. He's informing him, so he is already aware of what he will do. Okay, so whenever you are planning to do something, you can put in your voice as in informing that I will do all these things. Means I will come with you, but this is the one thing which I will do. So you already informing and they are aware. Here, this is the thing you will do in your class. Understood? The whole day long though. Okay. We go to the D and the jelly go B, over the land and over the sea. These are the places he wants to go. So what has Edward Lear done? He's created imaginative world. D and the jelly go B, over the land and over the sea. He said we can go to various places. So we'll go to D, we'll go to jelly OB, then we'll go to the land, we'll go to the sea. Okay. So these are the places he wants to go. Please take me a ride or do, said the duck to the kangaroo. So he says, please take me for a ride and please do that. Okay, and said the duck to the kangaroo. Said the kangaroo to the duck. This requires some reflection. So you shouldn't always agree on the spot. They said, you take me along also. You shouldn't. You have to think of the consequences. You have to think whether you will be comfortable or not, whether it is suiting you or not. We can't be impulsive. Okay? And the same way here, he's not very impulsive. He said, give me time to think. Reflection means to think. Give me some time to think. I will not immediately answer you. Give me some time to think. Perhaps on the whole, it might bring me luck, and that seems but one objection. He says, yeah, taking you along with me will bring me some luck. So that is a plus point. You will bring me luck. And then he said, but I have one objection. You know what is an objection, right? What does an objection mean?
The object or something, like to question something or to not agree.
Yeah. Objection is basically I have one problem. I have one thing which you have to do. Okay, one objection. And there seems but one objection, which is if you let me speak support. So if you let me speak support, so it's very firm. The kangaroo is very, very firm. He is he's ready to help. He's ready to take him. But he has to see that he is very, very comfortable. He doesn't have any problem. So we have to do for others. It's like that. The kangaroo is doing for others. We have to do for others, but we have to make sure that it is within our limit. Understood? We are not uncomfortable. Clear? Because the character sketch of the kangaroo and the duck, you require. Understood? Your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold and would probably give me the rheumatis, said the kangaroo. He says your feet, because then he's in the pond, right? The duck is in the pond. And the duck's feet is always wet and the duck feet is always cold. He said, and because of that, if I take you on my back, what will happen? You will give me rheumatis. Now this is word which is coined by Edward. He's taken kangaroo's root and rheumatism's matisse. You know what is rheumatism, right? Rheumatism is a disease. वहाँ से matisse लिया. क्योंकि this one rheumatism is a thing is when your joint pains, no, and especially rheumatism is when very old people, your grandparents or your parents sometimes. Rheumatism is that it's like your whole joints pain. Body joints pain. So from that, so it says because if I take you on my back, I will get rheumatism because my joints will start paining, it will start aching. So that's why. So that's the objection I have that your feet are very cold. Okay. So I said the duck has a lot of foresight. He said the duck, as I sat on the rocks, I have thought over that completely. He said, when I was sitting on the rock, I have thought about it already. I have thought about this thing, what you're telling me. Okay. I had bought 4 pairs of worsted socks. Worsted is kind of woolen socks. Okay. Which fit my feet neatly, and it fits my feet very neatly. So what happens with the woolen socks is feet will not touch the skin of the kangaroo, and because of that, the kangaroo will not feel cold. And cold is one thing when you during rheumatism, if you have that particular disease now, if you have rheumatism, it's actually very painful. It's very painful, and it's like the pain shoots through your body, and you don't know what to do. When you break your hand, break your leg, the shooting pain which comes to have you ever broken, hopefully not. You have broken hands.
What do? Like once if I got a big cut in my chin and then in my head.
So that was very painful, right? Imagine like that full pain is going through your body. Rheumatism is that because this joints what we have, hands joints, legs joint, everything, ear joint, it starts paining, it starts aching like very terribly. You have to take medicines for it. It's a disease, right? So you have to take medicines for it. So he said, I have bought a cloak. He said, I have to keep my feet warm. I brought socks, and plus I bought a cloak. Cloak, you know what is a cloak, right? A coat. And every day I was a cigar I'll smoke. So he said, even to keep myself warm, I will smoke a cigar. That duck is smoking cigar, you see. All to follow my own dear true love of a kangaroo. So all to follow means I will be sitting on your back, right? So I will be following you. So all for you.
Is that pink kangaroo?
Sorry.
Was that pink kangaroo?
Yeah. Kangaroo and Joey. Remember they have this pouch in the front. It has been animated. Said the kangaroo, I am ready. They all in the moonlight phase. So he says, yes, now I am ready. You have taken care of what I wanted. I am ready. And he says, we shall begin our journey in the night during when the moonlight is shining. Okay. But to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady and quiet at the end of the day. So again, he's looking at how feasible it is and how he can, take him. So, to balance it out, his body is big, right? And his tail is the one who helps him balance. So he said, you have to sit at the tip of my tail. It's like, remember you sit on a seesaw, you see, na? So if your one is sitting here, the other one goes down and then they are like that. You're balancing yourself, each other, your weight, right? You're balancing your weight. So the same way, since you sit on my tip of the tail, because when I hop, I need my tail to balance me so that I don't tumble right in the front. Okay, so he said you sit at the end of the tail and sit steady. That means steady is straight, so that you don't shake. Because what will happen, if you stand on a two-wheeler, if you sit on a two-wheeler and you will shake, what will happen? The balance, the person who's driving it, who has a control over it, his balance will be missed and the whole vehicle will shake. Yes or no? And sometimes you can fall also. So that way. And so away they went with a hop and a bound, and they hopped the whole world round 3 times round. So 3 times they went all around the world. Okay. See, look at that. The tail, the duck is hanging on to the tail. And who's so happy? Oh, who? As the duck and the kangaroo. So who do you think is happy? Who do you think is happy? The duck or the kangaroo?
Duck.
Don't you think both are very happy?
Yeah.
See now the stanza wise, huh? It is a stanza wise. What happened? Now, conversation between the duck and the kangaroo. Read.
The duck appreciates the kangaroo. The duck says his life is bored. The duck expresses wish to travel and to walk. The duck wanted to ride on the kangaroo's back. He wants to go to Bee and Jelly Bowling. He also wants to go over the sea and over the land. He assured that he will be quite well alone. Kangaroo thought about the duck's request. The duck has perpetually wet feet, so the kangaroo fears that he may catch rheumatism.
Rheumatism, rheumatism is there, na? So from there it was taken. So instead of the pronunciation is rheumatism only. So they have taken the kangaroo's rheumatism. Okay. Read.
Kangaroo thought over the duck's request. The duck has perpetually wet feet.
Perpetually means throughout, every time. Okay.
So the kangaroo feared that he may catch rheumatism. Assurance given by the duck. First, he has purchased 4 pairs of worsted socks. He has purchased a shawl. He smoked a cigar every day. He journeyed day and all night. The duck sat at the end of the kangaroo's tail. They went around the world 3 times. The duck and the kangaroo are very happy as their journey was very successful.
I'm gonna read.
What are you reading? See, this is I told you about limerick. A.
Rhyme scheme, na?
Limerick is a kind of that is a rhyming scheme, na? Witty, humorous, or nonsense poem, especially one by. This is what it is. This is the rhyme what is followed. A. Yes.
A B B.
A.
BB
Rhyming scheme.
A
Which page number is that, beta?
94.
No, what's that?
Look at this.
And
That is not called. That is not.
some kangaroo and hawk are similar.
No, that is not a limerick. It's a humorous poem. That's it. Kangaroos find in Australia.
So AABB is not the right.
No, this is not this rhyming scheme. I told you about limerick because normally what happens, limerick is you should know what is a limerick.
Rhyme scheme क्या है?
It's rhyming scheme. I tell you now what is the rhyming scheme. 95 is there now. No, it's not AABB. Tell me the rhyming scheme.
AB
ABCC.
DA.
Yes.
ABC.
Open your volume 1. No, it is not volume 1.
Volume 2.
Volume 2 it is. Wait, that is not volume 1. I also know it's not volume 1.
First is the
What was the rhyming scheme? A, B, A, D,
T. C.
C, A, B,
is no over.
Yeah.
huh?
अरे
First, let's read the central idea. Come to page number 50 and read the stanza again.
This poem by Edward is a humorous and interesting poem. The poem describes the friendship of a duck and a kangaroo.
Stanza one is going to read. I'm going to read. Read first. 50.
Summary stanza one. This stanza the poet describes the dog with the duck and his friend kangaroo. The duck told his friend kangaroo that he was amazed at his ability to walk over the water body. He said that hopping a cable to be never ended. The duck further said that he had been bored with his life in that pond. He had a strong desire to go out to the world that lies beyond the pond, expressed his inability to walk like a camel.
No, can I second? The duck requested the kangaroo to allow him to have a ride on his back to see the whole world. He added that he would sit still and say nothing but quack. Throughout the day, they would visit many beautiful and pleasing places, go over the sea and over the seas.
Chandrasekhar. The continuing pleading of the duck forced the kangaroo to accept it. The kangaroo thought the journey may bring him good fortune to him. The kangaroo put an objection before the duck, saying that he would state his objection only if the duck allowed him to say it. So, the objection of the kangaroo was the blatantly well and cold feet of the duck. If the kangaroo allowed the duck with cold feet to ride his back, then he might catch food for sure.
Then therefore, the duck came up with its solution. He told kangaroo that he had thought about it in detail when he was sitting over the rocks. He told the kangaroo that he had bought 4 pairs of worsted, socks, and a cloth. The socks would keep his web like damp feet dry, and the cloth would provide him warmth. Also, he had decided to smoke a cigar so that he could keep himself warmer. He told Kangaroo that since he loved him, he was already prepared with all this.
Chandrasekhar. The last stanza the poet described the journey followed by the duck and the kangaroo. The kangaroo told the duck that they would start their journey into the moonlight. The kangaroo issued some advice to the duck that he should sit steady at the end of the street in order to balance his walk properly. With all the preparations and instructions, the two went on the journey up to the world. They went around the whole world 3 times. In the end, the poet leaves us with the question that which of the two, the duck and the kangaroo, would be happy.
No, both will be happy.
Yeah. Come to page number 55. I want you to read the G one. Page 55. How did you manage to pay your book?
No, मैंने तो कर अपना
अपने आप कैसे कर सकता है?
What narrates of the
my chance. What traits of the duck's character does the following line reveal? I would sit quick and quite still and say nothing but word. This line reveals that the duck is a very cooperative, considerate, and thoughtful creature. She knows that if she would make noise or keep on moving, it would inconvenience and distract the kangaroo. Hence, she voluntarily offers
cause
to cooperate
inconvenience, please.
by being
Right,
quiet and still.
so in front of inconvenience, it would cause inconvenience and distract the kangaroo. Okay. Now, go to the next question, Kaushik.
what was the kangaroo's reaction to the duck request for a ride?
और ग्रामर के दौर में इसके लिए मैंने बोला देखो cause inconvenience to cause inconvenience to somebody likely to cause trouble for somebody understood so you cause problem that's all
The kangaroo was a
very sensible underlined underline these are your characteristics I told you as it why is it sensible
when he was requested for a ride, he was slightly apprehensive as he knew that the wet and cold feet of the duck may afflict him with rheumatism, a disease marked by inflammation and joint swelling.
What happens? Inflammation means it swells. Inflammation means when your water, fingers and hands will swell, like swell. Swelling होती है ना, सर swell.
Before committing to units to give the issue to the good thought, even though the proposal could bring him good luck.
The kangaroo does not want to catch rheumatism. Why is it? It is spelled differently. Why is it
This
named
I have
so?
told you. So I want you to concentrate more on the characteristics. What promise did the duck make to the
What
kangaroo?
promise did the duck make to the kangaroo? And what did she assure him during the ride? The duck requested the kangaroo to let her ride on his back. She promised to behave quite decently during the ride. She would sit
So she would
silently.
behave quite decently, underline that. So this is talk about like she was very sensible. She knew that as she cannot disturb the person who's offering a service. Like we humans also see by the kangaroo and the duck because we humans also need to be like that. Okay, that's why I'm making you underline these. Huh?
She would sit silently without making a noise. She would say nothing but quiet. She assured him of her good conduct. They would walk over the land and the sea together.
Okay, read the next slide. The next question.
Despite her love for the quality of it they observed. The duck was a very resourceful and
Far-sighted creature, underline very resourceful, very far-sighted.
in addition to her adventurous spirit, although she was unable to walk, she convinced.
The convincing power was good. Understood? You have to have, see, these are the characteristics which you have to have as a human. If you want to get something in life, you have to have a good convincing power. You have to have a far-sightedness, and you have to be very resourceful. If this is not working, I will do something else. Understood? So even before when she asked the kangaroo, she was ready with her woolen socks and shawl, and she said, "I will smoke. That means I'll keep my body warm with that." Understood? That's why she's very resourceful and far-sighted also because she realized that her cold feet will create problem for the kangaroo. So that's why the far-sightedness. Okay?
The kangaroo were
Anticipating.
anticipating the requirements of the journey.
Another quality. You have to anticipate the problem. Before you do something, you have to anticipate that this problem I will come across. Then how do I went over that? Understood? Anticipating the requirements of the journey.
She agreed herself before pairs of villains or other law to prevent herself from the kangaroo from catching the cold.
And you would have seen some people flattering others in order to get their work done. Do you think the duck was doing the same to the kangaroo?
Stop. So do you think that she was flattering in order to get her work done?
Yes.
Yes, she was flattering or she was praising. There's a difference between flattering and praising.
Flattering.
Read the answer.
Yes, we have seen some people flattering
Read the complete answer.
others to get their work done. They do it purposefully with a selfish motive. But in this poem, the duck is not of that nature. Yes, he had admired the kangaroo for its ability to hop over the land and water, but it was not flattering. It was in the form of request that he made to the kangaroo. Also, the duck was much concerned about the good health of the kangaroo, so he bought some warm clothes. Had he been a flatterer in nature, he would not state his wish to say quack during the ride. Therefore, we can say that despite ducks admiring the kangaroo, he didn't have a flattering intention and it was out of friendly concern.
Understood. So do you think it was flattering?
No,
No. That should be the
friendly
answer.
concern.
Because she knew that her friend would be discomfort, so that's why. And second thing, she already warned that I will say quack. I will not disturb you, but I will say quack. Now imagine on a journey somebody comes and shouts in a ear. If you're not prepared, you are not aware of it, what will happen? You will make some mistakes, right? The same way, if I inform that this is my problem and this is what will happen, I will not try to disturb you, trouble you and all that. But this one thing I will do. So she knew that what was the problem because they have to say quack, right? That so that the person doesn't get distracted. She already got the capital. So I am very well behaved. But only thing what I will do is I will say quack. So she is making sure that the friend is aware of it and it doesn't disturb the friend. That's why concern comes. Concern, friendly concern.
It makes sense.
This was the program of the car that the event was happening. We tried one ST was one he had the context of the poem was 10 hours. This was possible. Of course, the poem was spoken about the every current everyone's who are
Right.
she was that intentionally, if he has that intention, when the tough person able to operate the camera and hence able to go out into the world view, the camera being able to go or ready to take the time for a ride and fulfill the wish. So the able ones and the right ones, then there is none that can stop them from doing so. If this could be possible, then the world would be a paradise, and people would relish in
Both the duck and the kangaroo are very
This is also star mark one. This one, the C one. That means star mark means wherever the characteristic comes in, you will very thoroughly. But learn the poem and learn what the poem is all about. Okay, because you have to know what is the word in your poem.
Both the duck and the kangaroo are very sensible creatures. Elucidate. Both
Elucidate.
Elucidate.
Elucidate means explain, justify. Understood? These are the words. Elucidate means explain or justify. If you have not understood this word will come often in your question answers. Okay?
Both the duck and the kangaroo are very sensible creatures. The duck analyzes the problem of monotony that she faces in her life in a rational way. She observes the kangaroo hopping all
I want you to underline analyzes the problem and in a rational way. See, as I said, when in life, when there's a problem, we have to analyze it. Analyze it, we think about it, and then decide a rational course of action. How can I break it? How can I get out of it?
She observes the kangaroo hopping all about the land and the sea, enjoying life. She contrasts this with her constrained life in the nasty pond and requests the kangaroo to take her out of her boring life into the far and wide world. The kangaroo too is sensible.
See, sensible. Underline the word sensible.
He takes time to
Takes time to consider. Underline that.
consider the duck's request and is very careful in his choice of words while putting forth his objection.
See, very careful about his words. So what happens? He's putting up, like he says, may I be so bold. So he's very in a very polite way. He's telling her, he like, I'm going to give you a suggestion. Means I'm going to give you an objection, but he doesn't want to offend her. Means he's doing it in a very polite way. Okay?
The duck again displays her cleverness and far-sightedness when she reveals that she is already prepared with an effective to the kangaroo's objection. Hence, both the creatures enjoy each other's company, and the sensible decision dispels boredom from the duck's ride and brings luck to the kangaroo.
Okay. The D and the E one also we will do. What ideally form of the kangaroo? This is characteristic of kangaroo.
Yes, sir.
Because this one also you normally get in your exam. Like tell how is the duck and the kangaroo is a humorous poem. You get it. So that also comes.
what I do you form about the kangaroo after it is the kangaroo is an energetic creature. love adventure and fun. Though he was an helpful and he had a helpful attitude, he is sensible enough. He is sensible enough not to harm his own interest while offering them. That is why he very frankly but politely considered the reason for his reluctance to take Ronaldo. He is very cautious and practical. He believes in taking precaution in advance to avoid trouble. Apart from making sure that the red and gold plate of data will bring him no harm, he gives instruction he gives instruction in advance to to steadily on the top of the stage. So, so that he might not lose balance. He Taekwondo shapes are a straightforward creature that is polite but it is dangerous. Once he makes a commitment, he keeps it. Thus, his honesty and honesty win over the duck's heart, and both she and the duck thoroughly enjoy the ride.
Very clear. What are the qualities we are talking about here? Did you underline those qualities?
Adventure and fun.
Energetic creature, loves adventure and fun, helpful, but sensible enough not to harm his own interest. Frank and polite.
Yeah.
Okay, cautious and practical.
What's this?
Practical.
Practical.
He believes in taking precautions.
Yeah.
Then he gives instruction in advance.
Yeah.
Straightforward creature, polite but firm.
Yeah. And then
1 minute, keeps his commitment, frank and honest. Understood? These are the qualities. You can write this answer in various ways, but use these qualities in order to describe the kangaroo. And I made you underline how to describe the duck.
bring out the humor in the poem The Duck and the Kangaroo. The duck and the kangaroo is a nonsense words. Kangaroo is a nonsense words and is full of humorous elements. The basic structure of the poem is a conversation between a duck and a kangaroo, which is kangaroo, which is very amazing. The honest manner in which the duck pays compliments to the kangaroo for his hopping skills makes the reader smile. The imaginary names bee and jelly bolly in places that the duck wishes to visit sound very funny. This thought thing romanticism to romantics adds another funny element to the poem. The forceful manner in which the kangaroo considers the duck's proposal is comical too. The kangaroo's objection to a duck's cold and wet feet and the duck's solution to the use of worsted socks draw an ecartical reader's ribs. Thus, the humor is subtle but well woven in the fabric of the poem.
So the elements which are humorous, you have to decide. Humorous, you're talking about wearing socks, smoking a cigar. You're talking about tea and jelly bori. Okay, and so basically, when you get a question like this, if it's how many 3 mark answer, this is all these elements are going to write. Okay. Now, where were the wet feet? Why were the wet feet an objection to the kangaroo?
It makes sense.
No, sorry, I missed one. Which quality of the kangaroo did the duck admire and why?
Consistence.
Yeah, I want to let you.
Which one? No, the first A. The first one.
Which one did you
Admire and why.
the duck admire
Yeah.
following quality of the kangaroo.
What
Kangaroo was
basically?
energetic and a creature. He loved adventures. He was sensible. He was very sensible.
From the poem first, my dear. Huh? From the poem first. What does he say?
I'm 54 very
First answer, short answer. The duck admired the kangaroo by praising the duck admired the kangaroo's hopping skills. Why? I think the last one, last answer. 54, last answer, see. Last at the page, at the end of the page.
You already know the people. 54 or 55?
54.
Last
Last.
other duck and mine, they can do my baby with working skill that we
Yes.
What kind of life did the duck live in the pond?
Very boring life.
I mean,
What life is written there, na? What
I mean, it is very boring life, and he was in the nasty pond. Yes. Which word was that?
Which word in the summer meaning the same as outside. Cold view.
Why were the wet feet an objection to the kangaroo?
Kangaroo.
Wet feet.
What happened? Why was it smell wet feet? Why was it an objection?
Wet feet. Yeah, when the duck was sitting on the rock, it was. Yeah, living in a nasty pond day and night is yes.
Answer. Yeah, please.
The wet feet of the wet feet of the what was it? Duck. Thus, an objection to the kangaroo because kangaroo was afraid that if the wet feet of the duck, when it was in contact with the kangaroo head, was with back, he would get ruined.
Yes.
That's the reading now.
Yes.
How did the duck show his true love for the kangaroo? He was analyzes the problem in a rational way. And,
How did he show? He said that.
yes, we have seen some people.
Here's the second part, second paragraph of your answer.
This the kangaroo.
A1, second paragraph. Look,
It was in
the
the
duck
form
was
of
much
request.
concerned. Second paragraph.
Yeah.
But that was not on the baby.
Also, the duck was much concerned about the good health of the kangaroo, so he bought some warm clothes.
Correct. He bought
Had
some
it
warm
been
clothes
a flatter
No.
in nature,
to make sure that it doesn't. You have to write, frame it in your own words, beta.
the duck is not of that nature. Yeah. Now, warm clothes, so he bought some warm clothes. Then he was able to walk, was ready to take the drug for a ride and fulfill the wish. Listen.
Once again,
Please.
how did the duck show his true love for the kangaroo? The duck showed his true love for the kangaroo because before the ride, the duck sitting on a rock or before one thought that what problems would the kangaroo face when the duck was on its back. So therefore, and then the duck thought for good solutions and was already prepared for for the problems of the kangaroo, and therefore he was
Going on.
and then he bought four pairs of socks,
Frost. Don't forget that word. That's a key word. Frosted socks.
4 pairs of frosted socks, and one clock.
Cloak and decided to
Decided to smoke cigar.
yeah.
So the
How did a duck make a tour of the world comfortable?
The same thing, only thing. She bought all this thing to make sure that they were comfortable. What did you learn
What
about
do
the
you
duck
learn
from the
about
poem?
duck from the poem?
I need to
The
underline.
duck is cooperative, considerate, and thoughtful creature. The duck it would cause and distract the kangaroo, hence the voluntarily offers to cooperate with being quiet and still.
And
Huh?
and she said
He was in need to
showed
to
him
keep
of
them
the
warm.
good conduct.
Okay.
To keep to take her on ride, anticipating the quiet, she equipped herself with 4 pairs of woolen socks and a cloak to prevent and fur and a cat to carry this one. What did you learn about the kangaroo from this?
the kangaroo was an energetic creature
Yeah.
who loved adventure and fun. He was
Basically,
sensible
you know the answer.
sensible and helpful. He was frank and polite. He was cautious and practical, and always took precautions. He was very a straightforward creature. He was a polite and firm person. He and he was very rigid to his commitments, and he was very frank and honest.
Okay.
The poem suggests that the duck and the kangaroo were the best friends. According to you, which qualities make the friendship best? Reference to the poem.
Which quality?
Huh?
Which quality of
From the coordination of
Coordination
Yeah.
of nature.
and being firm.
and the politeness, firmness of the duck and the kangaroo to each other,
Yes.
and then the
They live in a nasty pond.
Ready to help each other, but making sure that the other person is
Uh,
not uncomfortable and
then they were very
being
straightforward to each other.
considerate to each other, concerned, no? She had the concern to be considerate to each other and to be straightforward, remember, and
To keep their commitments.
yeah, to keep their commitments and be honest and frank.
Honest,
You're a best friend. If you want to have best friend, you cannot.
frank and honesty.
So if you are wearing a very ugly shirt, a friend should say you're wearing an ugly shirt. No? What is the use of that friend if you're wearing an ugly shirt and other people make fun of you? So you have to be frank and honest. Understood? These are the qualities you're talking about. What about this? Our politeness and humility compels others to accept our request. Do you agree with the statement? And now, remember, explain with reference to the poem when I'm using these concern. So, like, how I will show concern of the duck?
Duck analysis the program in a rational way.
No,
On the duck already thought about them
and
about
all the things. What about straightforwardness? How will I show the straightforwardness? So, how will which example will I use?
kangaroo or just
We had an objection and it is very firmly said. And remember, whenever you're doing this kind of a question, you have to give from the text. Okay. Now, our politeness and humility compels others to accept our request. Right? So, do you agree with the statement? Yes. So, you have to write yes. You can't say ha. Yes, I agree. I agree that the politeness and humility compels others to accept the statement. Now, write your answer with reference to the poem, the duck and the kangaroo. Now, explain.
Yeah.
Now should I speak on this?
Please.
Yes, I agree with this statement because in this poem the duck showed many from like the duck showed what
Of course, this poem is spoken
Again, the same thing. He was concerned.
Concerned. Because he was already he already thought about the problems which were faced by the kangaroo and already got
Will be faced.
will be faced by the kangaroo and got 4 pairs of socks and
A cloak
and a clock. And the kangaroo, he was very straightforward and
polite.
polite.
When he put
Always
forward his objection
objection.
that he may catch humanism because of the duck's cold feet. See, when I'm giving an answer, I have to give a complete statement. Okay? Alright? And remember, in this kind of an answer, you have to give at least 4 examples. Because 2, I will talk about the quality and I will explain that quality. Have you understood? Like when I say humility, I will talk about how humble it was and very politely he asked. Okay? And politely the kangaroo put his thoughts across, his objection across. Then I will talk about this one, humility. The kangaroo accepted the request, but made sure that he was pretty comfortable, right? And what are we looking in at? No, you are looking there. What are you looking at? Somebody is there. What?
It takes time to consider.
It takes time to consider. He takes his time. It's not very impulsive. He weighs it. So even when your best friend, how do you maintain friendship? Even if your best friend asks you something, you can't immediately say yes, I will do it. But what if you cannot make it? Understood that one? Clear? Understood the duck and the kangaroo? Understood how it can be framed? ऐसा. Alright? Chalo. Your grammar all is complete now.
I guess I'll see my minds.
Please let's see this one because I think all of this one except for the gap filling and all that. That is just a practice exercise which you have to do. The gap filling and the tenses I've done. Descriptive writing you were absent, but I did that. Story writing I did.
Present.
Story writing and descriptive you were absent.
Present.
You were absent. Descriptive nahi. This one story writing you were absent.
Connect the
Next time are you going to be this one on time?
Ma'am, connect the passive is evening, na?
Passive is